Bible tells us that we need to seek God while He can be found and draw to Him while He's still near. And I do believe there's actually a cutoff point that God can only do so much. And when you begin to sow into your life the things of the flesh, the works of the flesh, as opposed to the works of the Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit, then you will find yourself in a position where you're too far gone to be saved. And one example I like to use, and in reference to this, my book is Genesis. I love Genesis. There was two characters there, Nimrod and Abraham. Abraham lived to be 175 years of age, and Nimrod was 40 years older, and he lived to be 215. Matter of fact, Jewish history says they died the same year. But Nimrod always sought to be more and more wicked, and he was actually murdered, he was assassinated by Abraham's grandson Esau. He was decapitated, and he had 250. I would love to have 100 years just to do that, do the work of the Lord. But Nimrod heard all throughout his life about Abraham's God, and he died wicked and in the flesh, and he had everything taken from him by the time he died. In death, he didn't have anything hardly. Even his kingdom had turned into a big civil war, people fighting over it. But that time that Abraham died, the history tells you that kings came to his funeral and honored him. And I think that if you look at that example, you'll see that some people, they're just beyond help because of the way their mind is. And I think that's, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here, but that's also another thing about these spirits that test you, the drugs, they will confuse you. They'll make you think you're something that you're not. And sometimes, and while the spirits over here are pulling this person down, they're building this person up and giving them fake hope.
Yeah, well, I really believe that because in this particular person, the story that I'm relating to is because I was saved at 12 years old. God never took His hand off my life. Right. He never has been saved. And he's been on methamphetamine since he was 16 years old. He's older than me now. So you know what I'm saying? And he's been fighting that demon, that battle for years.
That's right.
Without a hope, without an anchor. I had an anchor.
That's right.
If I didn't have that anchor, I could see where maybe there is no hope sometimes.
And you definitely don't want to go into a situation in life, especially with addiction, that you don't have Christ on your side. You don't have be washed in His blood, be filled with the Spirit, be empowered with His Spirit. And I said it before earlier in the broadcast. I'm gonna say it again. If you've never lived in active addiction, then you have no idea what it's really like.
No.
You really don't. You can't through osmosis relate to people who did go through this. You just can't do it. And taking on any kind of healing like this without Christ is a losing battle because you can't do it on your own. I couldn't do it on my. If I could, I would have never went 15 years on cocaine, whoremonger. I never would have done that if I could do it on my own. I tried and it didn't work. It just doesn't work. And
I would have, like I said, if I could have done it for my kids when they got taken away from me, I would have done it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it for them.
Right.
I couldn't do it for any reason.
Yeah.
Until, like you said, we all got to hit that rock bottom.
Yeah.
And just be so desperate to cry out to God to say, you got to do something. I can't do this anymore.
And you
see your own demise.
Yeah.
Like I said, I started seeing that the devil's fixing to get me. My mind is fixing to be gone to where I can't get it right. I'm fixing to commit suicide. Too many times I had been at that point, like I was in that car that day. Too many times I had been on that ledge to where the devil. I've even been. He's had my mind so messed up before too, and this stuff just keeps popping in my head. To where I was standing on the sidewalk on Brainerd Road, the main drag in Chattanooga, pitch dark at night, terrified over what I do not know. I thought that they had done something to my car. I was thinking that people were trying to blow me up. It was just insane. I was afraid to even go. I was so thirsty, afraid to go through the drive-thru because I was afraid they were going to give me a bomb or something.
Right.
And that sounds crazy, but I promise you, when you're living it, it's not crazy. It's real. And I was at the point of standing on Brainerd Road, and the devil kept trying to get me to run out and walk out in traffic. Just walk out there and end it. All you got to do is step off this ledge, step right in the road. It'll be over that quick. And me just crying, fighting that, like, dang, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? It's just horrible.
It is.
It's really horrible. But that's why I tell people, Satan wants to attack us. Because if he would have had Shannon step out running that road, or to blow her head off in that car that day, and he would have won.
Yeah.
He would have won, and he didn't care about me. I was nothing to him.
Right.
But he knows I'm something to God.
That's right.
God is, I tell people all the time, and jokingly, but I mean it too. I say, God's especially fond of me. I'm one of his favorites, Michael.
Well, as children of God, God is very protective over us. We're to be his people, and he's to be our God. And I look at it like this. We are all sinners saved by grace, but the thing is, think about, for lack of better ways to say it, think about the significance that our lives can have impact on people, to where God wants us to empower us to go forth in that ministry, and at the same time the devil wants to beat us down and destroy us. Everybody has a position to play, everyone has a role, and we have to, you get that from having a personal relationship with Christ. You can't just fake that. You can't fake it. They say fake it till break it, fake it till you make it. But you can't do that in the spiritual world. You have to stand strong. You have to spend time with God. You have to spend time in His Word and push forward.
Yes, and every day.
Absolutely. I want to share.
Because once we get clean, I tell people this all the time also. The devil's going to come at you every way he can. Mm-hmm. Every way he can. Because he doesn't want to let us go. Mm-hmm. We lived for him for 20-something years.
That's right.
And so he's hating this, But that makes me love it that much more.
Absolutely. And
I feel like every time I get my testimony, or like what we're doing right here tonight, I feel like I'm just kicking Satan right in the teeth.
There you go.
And it makes me so happy.
And
it does. But I already know too. Come up this next week, I'm gonna have to stay prayed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's gonna come at me.
Absolutely.
He's gonna keep coming at me, but as long as we stay with God and on our knees.
That's it. And we refer to this earlier today. God's not going to put more on us than we can take, and He'll always make a way of escape with that. So that's something to be grateful for, to have that, to be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And I think James 4 says that when he comes against us, he will leave for a season, but he'll come back.
Yes.
And we have to stand.
He'll finish the work like you said earlier.
Yeah.
If he starts whatever he started in you, he will.
Yeah, I want to read that verse, because I got a few more passages I want to share with you. But this comes out of Philippians 1:6. It says, being confident of this very thing, that he which has begun a thing, that which he had begun is good work until you perform it in the day of Jesus Christ. What it's saying is, whatever God starts in you, He's going to finish. That's Philippians 1:6. And we have to stand on that. We have to know that God has a purpose for us. The devil don't want us to fulfill it, and we have to. You have to stay prayed up, and you have to walk with Christ. I heard it said a few years back. Someone said that you can't walk with God if you're running with the devil.
Amen.
And so many people try to do that. They try to hold hands with the devil and hold hands with Jesus, and you can't do that. There's no way you can't. God's not going to be mocked. He's not fooled. Exactly, only one God, and you have to be sold out to Christ. And if you're not sold out to Christ, then you're opening yourself up to all kinds of problems when the devil comes against you. And it's not just addiction. Like you said earlier, everybody's addicted to something.
Feelings,
it does. To take care of that. But yeah, this is one of your favorite verses that comes out of Isaiah 61 verse 3, and it's dealing with Israel going through some things, and God's made a promise to Israel that He would give them beauty for ashes.
Yes.
And that is so beautiful. He can take, no matter where you are in life, He can take you. He can clean you up. He can use you. He can bring you to a position. He can elevate you.
Yeah.
Elevate you. Abraham's another great example of that. How God elevated him. It's so good that God is. He will never abandon us. He'll never walk away from us. And this is another verse I know you like, Revelation 12:11. That we overcome the devil, the enemy. How? By the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And that's exactly what's been going on here. It's not this past hour. We've been sharing our testimony to let people know that, God did it for me. He's going to do it for you. He's no respecter of persons. And that's why I'm so thankful. If He could use someone like me, it's all mess. I turned from God. I was an apostate. I actually...
I was a liar, a thief,
yes.
a murderer,
the things I did, in my solitude, I actually used, one time I used the genealogy of Christ. And I was so angry because I got myself in a problem. I was sitting there going right down to the genealogy. I mean, I was standing out in the front. This is how messed up I was. I was holding and sitting there like I was preaching to the air or whatever, and I was taking every name of the genealogy of Christ, and I was hacking them. Yeah. And I said, if you're going to do something, God, you need to do something. Yeah. And, he got me. Yeah. He got a hold of me, and he ain't let me go since then. Right. And I thank God for that. But...
Yeah, and I want to... What... Jordan's over here trying to share something. You want to share, baby girl?
No, but I'll tell you after. But no, it's just crazy you said elevate, because I was in there reading my devotional, and the chapter is on disruption, and it's literally titled Elevated Destiny.
Oh,
everything we're
talking about.
So it's right on point is all I'm saying.
Good deal. George's a good friend of ours. We're going to have her on here one time. We're going to get her on broadcast and sharing some of her testimony. But that's good. I'm glad you brought that up. But I want to bring out something. This is something I told a friend. And they looked at me like I was crazy, and I almost began to believe I might be a touch crazy until you said it a few years after I first said it. And that is, when it comes to Celebrate Recovery, which is what we're part of,
yes.
Everyone should do those steps. What do you think everybody should?
Should do 12 steps to Celebrate Recovery. It's not just for addicts, it's for anybody that has a hurt habit and hang up, which I don't know a person on the face of the earth that don't have a hurt habit or hang up. Mm. But just to work the 12 steps to bring you closer to God. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like therapy, to be honest, but, to be able to get a sponsor, to tell someone the things that you've never told anybody. All those things, because there's a root. Like I said, the drug is not the problem.
It's a symptom of it,
Yeah, it's a symptom of the problem. Mm-hmm. Shannon's the problem. Yeah. And so, that but working those 12 steps, for one, it'll bring you closer to God. Two, it'll help you get rid of all that shame and that guilt that we carry around with us. We all do. Whether you don't have to be an addict to have shame and guilt. You could have a overeating disorder or eat too much or a hoarder or something, and that carries its own shame and guilt. The whole thing is the devil's a liar. He's a liar, y'all. God loves us so much, and like I said before, the only time the devil's going to give you anything is to get back at God. Because we were made in His image. And, the sin of addiction, it is a sin. Me and you agree on that? People say it's a disease. I don't agree. I'm sorry. I think it's a choice. But, like I said, once you've made that choice and you invite those demons in, it's hard to let go. Yeah. And because they don't play fair. And, I was telling Micheal before we started this, the sheriff up from where I'm from, he was telling me that whenever he was blown away by when he would bust a house for manufacturing methamphetamine, how much pornography they would find on site.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm saying. That's just another demon in itself. Because if you do decide to get clean, you ain't got to just get clean off drugs. You got to get clean off the porn too, because that was part of your life when you were on drugs. The toxic relationship, that was part of your life. So you get addicted to the toxicity. You get addicted to the drama. It's just
the whole thing.
Yeah.
The sinful world.
Yes, so the devil don't play fair.
I'm glad you brought that up because Luke 17, 28, 29 talks about the days of Lot and the days of Noah. And if you go back to the days of Lot and look what was going on there's a lot of issues going there, but with sexuality that was prevalent. But I want to bring this out for people who think that they've overcome one aspect of it, but they're not out of the porn or the sexual bondage. Proverbs 6 verse 32 says this, that let me see, how's it worded? It says that let me look it up. I had off the top of my tongue, but I don't want to mess this up. This is a good one, but it deals with that very thing.
While he's looking that up, I want to tell y'all that I love y'all, and I am so proud of anybody. If you've got 1 hour clean, I'm proud of you. Keep going. And just stay with God, because I promise you He'll give you a peace that like none you've ever known. And I've almost, it ain't even been a year since I graduated from Starting Point Outreach here in Anniston. And God has blessed me so much. All that restoration and all they talk about is so true. Got a great job, a beautiful house, wonderful friends. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. You are who you hang out with.
Amen.
You are who you hang out with. And if you're not going the same direction I am, I tell everybody you've got to go. Because I'm serious about my life. I'm serious about my walk with God. And the people that my roommate Jordan, the people I work with, and everything, they love Jesus. I love Jesus. and He's the only way we stay clean.
This is the verse I was looking for. I had several verses on this subject that came into mind, but verse 5:32 is what jumped out, or 6:32 jumped out at me. It says, "But whosoever committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding." Now get this, and he that doeth so destroys his own soul. So you see, you may think that pornography or some of those strange suggestive movies that's no big deal, but the Bible literally says that you're destroying your own soul when you get involved in this. And this goes with the drugs. You know, I know some girls end up selling their body for it and everything. So this is a really disgusting, treacherous situation when we get them in. And remember, this is not necessarily. That's Piper. That's the mascot. that's our mascot for tonight. If you're in the Northeast Alabama Center, I want to give you some information here. There's a lot of Celebrate Recovery programs throughout the state of Alabama, but I got 4 here from my area, just 4. There's more than this, but if you're in the Anniston area, you got Mountain View Church, which is where we go to Celebrate Recovery
Thursday nights.
Good deal. And also we have there's one on out in Greenbrier, out that way, and it's Life Worship Center. That's also in Anniston. Church 180.
630 Life Worship Center.
Okay.
Springville 180.
Okay, I got. That's where I was going. Springville 180 in Springville, Alabama, and also the most recent one that Shannon got a chance to speak at was Plainview Church of God in Rainsville, Alabama.
Yes.
Go online, Google this stuff. If you know someone that needs this, needs to hear this, you make sure that you get them to settle down, get them to listen to this. I know some people don't want to do this, but they're in denial of their problems. But we just hope that much fruit will come from this podcast. It's a little bit after 8 right now, and I just love what was happening here. Shannon, it was great having you on here. And is there any way that people can contact you or get in touch with you if they want you to come speak at their recovery?
Oh, yes. Please do. I'm on Facebook, Shannon Shaw. Yeah.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, I mean, you can message me on Messenger or just hit me up on my wall or through the Days of Knowing Light.
Yeah, there's an email, there's a post office box address with a snail mail. However y'all want to do, you can get in touch with her. And if y'all would like to have her come speak, she's spoken at several churches, and it's just really good to have her here. And I'm just really glad. I mean, this was a very good, fruitful time. I know we're going into this, we weren't sure what direction it's going to go in because it was kind of an interview setting, and I've never done that, Shannon. I don't think it had been done one like this, but it was so good. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Yeah. Oh wow, we do see the when people write on there. I see that. That's a good deal. Yes, good deal. So people kind of tuned in and saw that. That's great. I want to thank everybody again for supporting this ministry. I want to thank everybody for supporting
Emmanuel
Shannon.
Baptist Church.
Emmanuel Baptist Church.
Love all y'all at Emmanuel
Yes,
Baptist
we're so
Church.
great. But anyway, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. It's been and by the
Lakeway
way,
Baptist in Chattanooga. I love my brother. Hi, Booney. Hi, Daddy. I love my dad. My kids.
good deal. Now,
find a good church home, y'all.
absolutely, you need a good church home.
Good Christian friends.
Yes.
Lift you up.
One thing I want to mention real quick, as I've shared on the different podcasts and everything, I have CDs stuff. I'm going to have a copy of this CD. If you want a copy of it, just let me know somehow, and I'll get it out to you free of charge, no shipping, no handling, nothing. I'll cover all that. But we got some CDs coming, and so I'm very happy about what God's doing. Anyway, God bless y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we will see y'all next time. God bless.